What you saying? I'm Chester P. Hackenbush. I'm here today with UKHH.com, the home of British hip hop. You know that's where it is logistically. Keep yourself involved.
It's nice to be here for hip hop's 40th birthday.
Well, hip hop being 40 to me kind of it symbolises I'm getting bloody old, really. Firstly and foremostly, it kind of justifies some of the grey hairs, some of the missing teeth and broken bones accumulated over the years of my 20 odd years of being a part of the 40 years of hip hop.
Monsters, wild and child fronts, fresh from the valleys of death and heart monsters, fire in the bellies of sin, war minds of a maniac, rights of the poisonous sin. From a place where it rains on it all the time. If it don't, then it pours on my state of mind. Rain falling from the heights of the stormy sky. Just another night, the grey sky is cold and dry. Pitter patter rainfall on a summer's day. It's just another day, singing blues in the rain. Just another day, slashing through the street.
It's quite fantastic, really. It proves that it's gone from strength to strength. You know, there was a time when people thought it was a phase, and there was a time when people thought it was dead, and there's been times when people thought it was God, and there's been times when people thought it was folk music, and there's been times when people thought it was, it's had all kinds of names and phrases. It's been grimy, it's been bassy, it's been breaky, and you know, it's still hip hop at the end of the day, and that's what survived and flourished out of everything over the past 40 years. I'm sure it'll be around for another 140 years and have many more names by then, you know. But music's music, and I think music in general, you know, it's been around for a lot longer than 40 years, and it's a very powerful tool, and it can be used to do great things. I think hip hop sidetracks itself occasionally and gets itself lost, but you know, I'm not the person to set the rules for what is and isn't allowed. What I do myself within hip hop, it probably ain't greatly considered hip hop anymore, but you know, I consider myself hip hop, so I guess that counterbalances that.
So if you have a bad day, keep it to yourself, don't blame hip hop, it's a bit pathetic, right? If you're having a bad day, just have a bad day. It ain't hip hop's fault, is it? Just life. But anyway, love is the key. Love is the key to all things. Love is the key. And I used to be in chains until I got the key. And now I know what that means. I hope you can all get the key yourself. Play the track. You know, in life, sometimes, as a younger man, I felt like I was better off dead. Because the world is fucked up. Start the procession, march of the dead man, clutching the senses of a blind man's vision. Every man's Judas, trusting corruptness. Slaves, it's the silvers on your mind in the darkness. Living on the carcass of the world on the market. Back out of markets, you can buy the sky now, the earth and the sky too. Look what controls us, look what becomes you. Look to your compass, check your direction. Watch for the horsemen, lost with the orphans of legend. Unboxing his frame full of tension with both eyes watching. Headmen tell no tales, and I'm talking.
When I originally got into hip hop, it was probably through the medium of breakdancing or graffiti, if not both of them at the same time. I think before kids were rapping, where I was growing up in Highbury, basically, in my school, in primary school, I think before I saw rapping, I saw breakdancing, and I think before I had ever rapped, I was definitely carrying a graffiti pen. I was never very good at neither breakdance or graffiti, being dyslexic and being a heavy smoker from a young age. I didn't really find myself doing breakdance too well. I generally hurt myself. My rhythm definitely lies within my mind and not within my body's function. So I think gradually the progression was natural. My brother, when he started secondary school, he started knocking about with lads who were rapping, and he kind of come home and bring it home, and I got into Slick Rick. He was like, to me, that's kind of the first person I can honestly say inspired me to want to be rapping. I'm not sure what year that was. It was possibly about 1988 or 7. I'm not sure. But you know, then the Beastie Boys came around, and KRS-One was obviously with Criminal Minded was 1986. So I mean, I was into hip hop then. Then for me, London Posse and Demon Boys out of England. Really, I know there was many more from that period, and I'm not leaving them out of any kind of weirdness. But for me personally, the ones I was listening to would have been London Posse and Demon Boys, Money Mad and Northsides to be precise. As I grew up, you know, I didn't get into being a rapper, I was being a child, but then when we got into battling about 17, 18, the scene was different then, everything was different. It weren't about social media, it weren't about, we had to network in clubs, you know, we had to go out and you had to stand on stages and you had to earn your stripes that way. There was a lot of battling going on, freestyle battling, and that's how we earned our stripes, and that's what it was about. You know, over the past 15 years that's changed, and there are changes we have to accept if we want to carry on in the industry. It's taken me a little minute to adapt to the kind of digital crossover, because I'm from a more pure kind of place to me, where people have to be what they tell you they are, you know, because they're in your face, so you can take people for face value. Whereas with the digital side of it all, there's a lot of people hiding behind what they can pretend to be, and really it's took a lot of reality out of what was once something I loved for its reality. But again, these are different things. In the beginning, it seemed a lot more fun to me. You know, there was a lot more on the corner kind of element about it, and a lot more a group of people on a corner beatboxing, rapping, freestyling, having a laugh. And it wasn't taking itself as seriously as it was, and people weren't considering it as a business. And these things take a little bit away from it and from its soul. But again, like I say, I'm not really the one who's allowed to dictate what's right and wrong, so I have to humble myself.
I drop like an anchor, heartfelt delivery. Came through the door, yeah, call me Kim Sicily. I'm in the place for a hellhole summer. Walk through the doors like a suicide bomber. Do or die, slang, blow holes in your cover, man. It's a just a man, but far more tougher. Slaughter when I speak, get slashed by the illness. Anti-willers, bag of weed killers. Anti screaming out loud on beginners. Just a chest running with farmer Hoochinoo.
What excites me about the future of hip-hop music, it's quite unseen to me. I mean, it's taken me on fantastic journeys, and it excites me that I can still find myself getting involved on some of these journeys, inwardly and outwardly. You know, it's taken me across the planet, and it's taken me across my own internal universe, and got me to understand myself on a much deeper level, on a much more conscious level. It's exciting because it pioneers in most of what fashion considers fashionable. As poverty usually has, as the punk movement did, you know, when the punks started wearing holy jeans with pins in them holding them together, it weren't a fashion statement, it was they were making something cool out of no money. And then the posh guys get into South Kensington and start inventing jeans with rips in them and pins on them and sell them for a fortune, and it takes away the whole soul out of what the movement was. And I think hip-hop has done that and pioneered many different styles and fashions. I mean, breakdance has gone on to be one of the most mimicked and imitated dance forms in the dance world on every level. You know, you get ballerinas looking like they're body popping sometimes. Graffiti is gone on to cover walls all around the world, and I'm sure it's going to spread. And in the next 40 years, I mean, outside of hip-hop alone, it's quite an exciting time to be alive, because we're faced with your Mayan prophecies and the prophecies of Ezekiel and all your Christian Armageddons and stuff. So for hip-hop music to be its narrative, the end of the world, I think is quite fitting, and that excites me more than anything, not in a morbid way. But I don't believe in the end of the world in the same way everyone else does. And I think hip-hop will be its narrative, and at the pulse of that, I believe there'll be a lot of exciting music and changes to come in people's mind states, man.
MPC right now. To all my people locked in jail. People say they want to battle me. I listen to their style and I ask. And if the dance is dead and you pay, and if you don't get paid for your show, and if your record label rips you off, you get them on the phone and say, boss, I represent hip hop live. MC Angel and the guys. It's Taskforce, spit slang that's straight from the soul of the English slang. And I did to let you know. blow my skills, time blow, blow. Alright, we've had a lovely time.
Out of the new phase of who's, because these guys have been around for a while, but the High Focus bunch, Dyke, Baxter and Ed Scissortongues, to me, I absolutely rate them lyrically. I really rate what they're doing. Everyone's got a different cup of tea, but I find what they do incredibly skillful. Flip Tricks, he's heavy as well, you know what I mean? But Baxter, Dyke and Scissortongue, they make music that I would actually sit and want to listen to a lot of, and find it quite inspiring, you know, lyrically and stuff. Along with them guys, there's Menelin 9, there's Bad Bones, there's Capo, there's Genesis Elijah. I think these guys are very good at what they're doing. And to be fair, there's like a hell of a lot more that like my old man memory forgets the names of when I'm in these situations, and I feel like I ought to remember them. My nephew, not out of him being my nephew, but Remus is doing some amazing work, both singing and rapping. I definitely rate what he's doing. There's a lot of good artists out there, but then, you know, from the old school cats, there's still old school heads who are doing it, and obviously we've got Michael Parkinson, Jess and all the obvious candidates. I was listening to some new stuff of A Saviour the other day. I thought was really good. Rodney P, for me, he's definitely the unsung godfather of rap. I get a lot of people saying I'm the godfather and I'm this, we pioneered this and we're the first people they heard rapping, and that's how Rodney P was to me. So we have to keep that in the balance, you know what I mean? And if we're gonna listen to what I do on the strength of that I'm one of the pioneers, if the younger generation need to check out a Chester P or a Taskforce or a Farmer G song, then they also need to check out a Rodney P and the Demon Boys and all the old guys. They need to do that just out of sense of where you're coming from, you know what I mean? And I think that's important, and it's important for me to tell people that too. But there's endless amounts of good people on the British shores in general. I think there's a whole lot of good rappers. Some of the one or two of the guys on the battle scene, I think are really good at doing what they're doing. The written battling thing, I've never really quite got into written battles, but some of the guys who are doing it very well. Lunacy and Shotty Horror, I think they're very good at what they're doing, man. And it makes me proud to know that there's guys like that who go out there and have it out with the Americans, because a lot of the guys who do, they're not really as good as the Americans, and it kind of hurts my soul a bit. But now we have representatives on every level and on every consciousness of hip-hop music. We have all kinds of artists who cover the ground now. So we've got people who are politically active, we've got people who are into battling, we've got people who are making that party kind of hip-hop, we've got people who are making thoughtful hip-hop, and they're doing it good on every level. And that's what matters to make a scene important, and that's what gives us diversity, you know. So in general, at this moment in my life, I feel really proud of hip-hop, and I feel like the proudest part of hip-hop as a whole universally belongs in this country. And the people I'm proud of, the rappers I'm proud of for the work they're doing at the moment, they're coming from this country, and it's not a bias thing. I grew up on American hip-hop, I love American hip-hop, but there isn't any American hip-hop that's really making anything happen for me, you know. So I would love another Wu-Tang to come out. I would love another Wu-Tang to do to us what Wu-Tang done to us, you know what I mean? It was a revolution of mind state, and in Britain I think that's what's taken over now. I think that we've got it kind of covered on all bases, man. So all the guys who I didn't mention, because I can't remember your names right now, sorry, you know I'm thinking of you. Just forget me when you're doing an interview next, man, it's all good.
I mean, stamp your fucking big elephant feet, bang the walls, and make some proper fucking noise. I am sweating, dripping, 37 years old, and I've still got my breath. And after you ain't got nothing, can you all look tired? And I find that very funny. So please make some noise with your vocal cords. You don't even need to move when I say free for everything beautiful about yourselves. But mainly, I must remind us all, I'm an artist, I'm a performer, right? My performance would be to no one if it wasn't without you guys. And I've been doing this for a long time, and I've grown since I was about 18, been putting out records. And you can trace my whole life back on record and hear my mind state get older and older and older. And the one thing that ain't never changed about me is I understand that you guys make me, I don't make you. So I need you to make noise for yourself for being a beautiful audience tonight. You are actually a part of my life. I sincerely mean that. Man, woman and transsexual. You're all freaky, right? Here's one. Here it is. No, but after three, you are gonna fucking make noise. Please. 1, 2, 3. Thank you, everybody in this fucking room. I love you all with all my heart. Please enjoy the rest of your night. Get home safely. Don't be arrested, guys. One love, yeah?